Now we'll look at how streets are built and how they affect the function of our communities. The pedestrian scale block is the central element of the traditional community street pattern. Before World War II, streets were usually built to intersect with one another at regular intervals to form an interconnected network made up of individual blocks. In the mountains or areas with geographic constraints such as rivers, the block pattern may be less regular. Streets were also built with sidewalks and crosswalks, so pedestrians were on equal footing with cars and trolleys. One major advantage of the interconnected block network is that it is predictable. In town, drivers know where to expect to see other cars, cyclists, and pedestrians. Pedestrians and cyclists know where they are supposed to be and have an expectation of safety if they travel there. Another advantage is that there are many ways to travel from one place to another. With the interconnected block network, as this map of downtown Savannah, Georgia indicates, if one road is congested, there are alternate routes available. Landscaping with large canopy trees was an important element in street design and construction in the early 20th century, as shown in this picture of Savannah. Although they were small when planted, the trees were carefully chosen so they would form a canopy overhead when they matured. We still benefit from this foresight in the older parts of our communities today. However, after World War II, road design changed. Instead of accommodating pedestrians, transit, and cars equally, the focus changed to moving vehicular traffic as the top priority. In the language of transportation planning, this is known as mobility. This means that many streets do not have sidewalks and crosswalks, and traffic signals are not timed to allow pedestrians to cross the street. The interconnected block network, where most left turns took place at intersections, has been changed to multi-lane roads with center turn lanes. And each business wants people driving by to have easy access, which leads to multiple entrances and exits. This causes confusion and congestion in the center turn lane and makes it difficult for vehicles trying to turn left from a business onto a multi-lane road. The interconnected block network, consisting of many two-lane roads with on-street parking and slower travel speeds, has been changed to a few major multi-lane roads where parking is prohibited. These high-volume roads with speed limits of 35 miles per hour and higher are known as arterials. Large canopy shade trees are rarely planted on arterial roads because they are viewed as hazards. Arterial roads can be dangerous, hostile, and scary places to be unless you are in a car. This means that even for the shortest trip, just across the street or next door, being in a vehicle is a necessity. In his book, Save Our Land, Save Our Towns, author Thomas Hilton talks about how most daily trips consist of driving from one parking lot to another. With all these changes in road design, it can be dangerous, inconvenient, and unpleasant to travel to most places unless you are driving. In our desire to accommodate the needs of people driving, we have allowed driving to become the only way to get around. Cars overwhelm too many places. What can we do to make better places that people and cars can share? Many of the elements that create any places are part of most typical zoning codes and road design standards. The solution goes beyond merely changing a single element, such as requiring substantial parking lot landscaping, although that is one part of the answer. It's going to take lots of changes to the way we design our buildings, how we place our buildings on streets, and how we design and landscape our streets and public spaces in order for us to create better places.